Hello, again, I say hello. For those who have been following us for so long, you can notice that we now have a golden background in my background. It's all about the gold that we are striking. We talk about diamonds in the past. We have talked about other things, acres of diamonds and all of those things. But now I would say that we are going into the golden age on our platform. And every time we come back to you, our viewers, we bring something special. And you just, it's like my friend Dr. Karen Dunkley says, Trevor, we share it, we share it, we share it, we share it. Everything, we share it so much. And that is so good to hear because they are willing to put that in their video when we are speaking with them, that we share because we value the products that we have among us as a people, as a country, and as a community. So let me say, welcome to Miss Adrienne Adams, and I'm going to kick it over to my co-host on the program, Hall of Fame cricketer, member of the Cricket Hall of Fame, Mr. John Melbourne, host of the John's Corner, Sports Corner, and of course, host of Diaspora Impact, the Legacy Series, secretary to the Cricket Hall of Fame, Mr. Dale Brown. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. Good afternoon, friends and family. Thank you once more for visiting and staying with John Sports Corner on the SosoBone Media Network, the global Caribbean media capital. Before my special guest, Miss Adrienne Adams, joins us, let me remind you to go to the Winner's Circle radio store in the SosoBone shop and go shopping. There are T-shirts there. We have mugs. We have tote bags. We have backpacks. We have sorrel for Christmas and for the New Year. And certainly the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. And all the merchandise comes with the Winner's Circle Radio logo. So pick up some packets of the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. It will go well Christmas morning, and of course, New Year's morning, when some of you might come home a little bit, I don't want to say, is it inebriated? You could have a cup of the coffee, but certainly, again, Adrienne, it's certainly a pleasure having you join us. Welcome to John's Sports Corner.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Please also say hello to Dale Brown, who will run a leg of this medley relay. Or should I say mixed relay? Also, let me say congratulations to you as your alma mater, I believe, are the new Manning Cup champions.
They are. They are.
And how much celebration did you do?
I didn't do much celebrating, but I was very pleased with the outcome of their match.
Yeah. And how about before we bring Dale into the conversation, do you have any family in Jamaica now who might have been affected by Melissa?
So my family is more Eastern based. I do have my grandma in Saint Anna, and I think she was the closest to the storm. But the only thing that happened to her was that she was out of power for quite a bit. I'm not even sure if she got power restored yet, but everybody's okay.
What about you in your young life? Have you ever experienced a hurricane?
I've experienced a few tropical storms, I believe. There wasn't any major hurricanes in my young days. So no, not really. I think Beryl was probably the strongest one that was coming to Jamaica in my more recent days.
Okay.
So yeah, not much experience, but I have experienced a few tropical storms.
Right, right. Well, Dale, let me pass the baton on to you now, Dale.
Okay, thank you, John, and thank you, Professor SosoBone. And more than anything else, we thank the viewers who will be on with us. We appreciate your faithfulness and your loyalty and helping to build this program into what it is becoming. And most of all, we want to welcome another outstanding and impressive young lady whose character is unquestioned, and she has distinguished herself in track and field while maintaining excellent academic performances. And this will go from every level of our education. So from primary through to high school and now collegiately. She will share with us a very powerful personal journey, one that was marked by perseverance, not the normal, regular perseverance that you need to succeed, but perseverance through illness at a young age, and perseverance through what normally would come with anyone who is involved in track and field or any sporting endeavor. But through it all, she remained grounded in her faith in God. And that is one of the impressive things about this young lady, her faith in God. And she very, very strongly speaks about it. And just behind that, her family, her mother, her parents, her sibling. So for their support has been unconditional, and you can see it. The confidence that she has, the confidence that Adrienne has, and it is showcased and highlighted by her beautiful smile. Welcome, Adrienne. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so Adrienne, we'll start off. This is a relay including field events. So we know you before you went to high school, because I think you perhaps went to two different high schools.
I did.
Okay, so before you went your first high school, and based on the maturity that you showed, and I'm really big on my what I used to call my infant school and then my primary school. So I will tell you that I'm so proud of my primary school. How proud of you are of your primary school, and what was your primary school's name?
Well, I'm very proud of my primary school. So I went to two high schools and I also went to two primary schools. So for the first 5 years of primary school, I went to St. Catherine Primary, that's in Spanish Town. And then for sixth grade, I went to Nagahead Primary.
Okay, and the experience there, what do you most remember that you think contributed to shaping you as an individual?
Let me see. As it pertains to faith and how I am as an individual, I think St. Catherine Primary was where it all started because we would have mass very often at St. Catherine Primary. So we had mass like I can't remember how often it was, but I know it was monthly. But I can't remember exactly when in the month it would be. Because some people that have it like the second week of the month or the fourth week in the month, but I can't remember exactly when. But we had mass every month. Nuggethead Primary now, I don't know, it wasn't as strict. It didn't have like a system where we'd have mass or anything like that. But the same values that I had or I learned from St. Catherine Primary pretty much crossed over because you're in the 6th grade. And during those times, you'd pretty much have like students that are, what were they, prefects or class monitors, or those individuals. So teachers pretty much respected me to a certain extent to have me be like the prefect, the class monitors, and those stuff.
Okay. So you learned a lot about leadership there.
Yes, I did.
One question, Brother Dale, before Miss Adrienne. When you went to your primary school, at lunchtime, you normally had a prayer, right?
St. Catherine Primary?
Yeah. Before lunch?
I can't remember actually, and I don't know why.
I mean, I am trying to remember that in the good old days in primary school, when lunchtime came, we had to all stand and we say for health and strength.
And daily food.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
That is very true.
Yes, so you passed your exams to go to Holy Childhood?
Holy Child High School.
Okay. And while you're there, you had an experience which really turned your life in a different trajectory.
Yes.
Please share that with us.
Okay, so at Holy Child High, every year we'd have our medicals before school started. So I remember going into the 8th grade and I was like a very chubby teenager. And I had my medicals and the nurse checked my pressure, my blood pressure. And it was abnormally high for my age. And she was like, no man, we have to sort this out. And then she told everybody else that we'd be right back. And she took me outside, introduced me to the coach, and she was like, this one here. This one here. And that was it. I think I started training that Monday after she introduced me to the coach. So yes, high blood pressure was what started my track and field career.
So they thought that with exercise it would help you.
Yes.
Okay. And who was that coach?
Coach Johnson, Coach Delroy Johnson.
Okay. Okay. And do you remember the nurse?
Her name was Nurse Reed.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you're at Holy Childhood. You started out. Did you represent them in track and field?
Yes, I think I represented them in the 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade. And I never made a chance finals when I was there doing track and field. I think the closest I got was 13th or something like that, but I never made it to the top 12.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Never. And then for the 11th grade, I kind of decided that didn't want to do track and field anymore and took a break. And then afterwards, I went to Excelsior High. And surprisingly, that year in the 11th grade, I didn't participate in tramps, but I went on the Friday when all the school marched down. So I went down to the stadium, and then I remember there was this particular athlete that I was very fond of, and she went to Excelsior High. So when I was at the stadium, I saw her and I saw the coach, and I jokingly said, "Oh, I'm gonna come here for sixth form, and I'm going to do track and field again." Mm-hmm. And then lo and behold, September, I went to Excelsior High School and I started track and field. And then everything kind of shifted from then.
Right. And who was the coach?
Michael Vassell. And he's still the coach there, actually.
Right. And they have a wonderful staff there with Mr. Riley.
Mm-hmm.
David Riley.
Yes, they do.
Who's the head of the coach. Yes, they have an excellent not a large program per se, but they'll finish in the top 5 at champs, and they have an excellent program. It's I call them quality over quantity.
I agree.
Yes. Okay. So now you are at Excelsior and you start representing them at champs.
Yes, I did. From the very first year there, I represented them at champs.
Okay. And then your last year, which would have been 2019,
Yes.
that's where things really went in a seriously upward trajectory for you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start off with the very first one, girls champs.
So
What
that
was
year,
your performance there?
so last year, 2019, boys and girl champs, I placed second with a throw of 47, I believe.
Yes. And this is in the discus, by the way.
The discus girls, yes.
Yes. So you got a silver medal at champs.
I did.
Okay. And I will take you, you did not go to Carifta?
No. And funny enough, that loss at the Carifta trials kind of like fueled the competitive spirit in me, because I don't think anybody else that I've competed with at that Carifta trials beat me. Because I remember being so upset because I really wanted to go to Carifta that year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but instead of Carifta, let's move over to Penn Relays. And it's not revenge, but it's kind of a redemption, a personal redemption for yourself.
It was. So, everybody that I competed with in that Carifta trials was at Penn Relays. And I decided that I didn't want to feel the same way that I felt when I lost at Carifta. So I went into that competition with not vengeance, but I really wanted to come out on top. So I did everything I could. And I remember freezing, because, Penn Relays is very cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember freezing. And I was just there like, God, I'm cold. Because I could not throw in the cold. I think the furthest throw that I had going into the finals was like 38 meters. And I was like, God, this is not me. I am cold. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I remember the sun came out for like 2 minutes. And I put on everything that I could find to keep me warm. And I warmed up, because I think I was like either not the first, but like the second person throwing in that final. And I got as warm as I could. And I remember they called me to ring, stepped in the ring. And I was like, this is it or nothing. And then I threw the winning mark, and I was just like, whoa.
I can feel it. I can feel the emotion, believe you me. And so you walked away with the gold, and you also won the Jamaica Junior Championships that year.
Yes.
Under 20. Yes. And that earned you a spot to Pan Am Juniors.
Pan Am Juniors.
And what was that experience like? And where was it held?
So Pan Am Juniors was held in Costa Rica, and it was my first ever national team. I really didn't know what to expect, but I had friends that were on previous teams, and they're always like, oh, it's so fun, it's a good time. So I was excited for the experience. No, I've never competed international. Well, yeah, I've never competed internationally at that point other than Pens. And I feel like at that time I didn't know how to compete really, especially against people that on paper were a lot better than me. But I remember becoming so confident because of the improvement that I've made in my marks. Mm-hmm. And then I'm one person that whenever I go into competition, I always have faith in God and my training and my coaches. So I always feel prepared going into a competition. And I remember going in the ring, and a few of my teammates were there supporting. And I remember vividly someone saying, "Let's go, Adrienne, just believe in yourself." And I went in the ring and I just threw my heart out. And I think I finished fourth. Yeah, I think I finished fourth at Panams.
Yes, yes. But at that point is not so much where you finish and the mark, is the fact that you competed and felt good with yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
One question.
yes, go ahead, Prof. Yes.
Just for the sake of our farmers, what is your favorite yam?
Yellow yam, and it cannot be dry. Cannot be dry. Yellow yam must gummy and sweet.
John, anything to add to that? Sugar and water or anything?
Well, John already plugged the Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee, you know.
Oh boy, yeah. So now you would have graduated from school that year, 2019.
Yes.
So now comes time for scholarship.
Yes.
How did you end up in Florida? Why did you choose that school? And tell us which school it was.
So I ended up going to the University of Central Florida. And I remember feeling like I wasn't the greatest option for some of these coaches because I didn't know it, denied by a lot of schools. And a lot of schools didn't reach out to me, especially ones that I really wanted to go to or was looking forward to going to. And I remember UCF reached out, and I remember just being so impressed with them because they weren't really concerned about the marks that I had, because at the time of them reaching out, I had only thrown the 48 meters that I threw at Penn's. And they were willing to sign me and give me a full scholarship at that point. And then it was in Orlando, so it was not too far from home. And I remember the experience that I had at Penn Reeling, so I know it was warm because I didn't want to go to anywhere cold after that. And the coach was also Jamaican, and they had the program that I really wanted to do because I wanted to do kinesiology, and they had that as well. So I was like, okay, I'm sold. And then I think I decided in May of that year to go to UCF. And then after that, I kept improving in my throws because, once champ season ends, you have the all-comers meet. I remember the first one I threw 49 meters. The second one I threw 51 meters. And then after that, I threw 52 meters. And then after throwing 52 meters was when all the other schools started to reach out. But I was already sold on UCF because they were willing to work with me at 48 meters. So why would I give that up?
Yes. And the Jamaican coach, what is his name?
So for my first year, I had Mr. Vassell, and then he ended up moving to India, but he left me in the hands of Kanija Rayner. So I was working with Kanija Rayner at that time. And within that year, I moved from 44 meters to 52 meters under his guidance.
Oh, beautiful. John, before I continue, do you have anything that you would like to ask?
Well, maybe, Adrienne, how did high school then prepare you now for college?
Well, I think high school kind of taught me that I am more than able and competent to improve in the sport that I'm doing. And I think it just made me more excited to see how much I could gain in going into a program that is tailored for athletes to go to the next level. So I was excited.
Is there a reason why you chose the discus and not shot put?
So I'd like to say discus chose me, and I didn't choose it, mainly because the way I started was because of that nurse during medical. So I like to say discus chose me. But I've tried the shot put, and I knew then and there that it was not for me, because my coach, Mr. Massey, used to always say I was too nice to throw the discus. It's more, but I think to throw the shot put, sorry, because I think shot put is more like a more aggressive throw compared to the discus. The discus is more graceful, in my opinion. So he would always joke and said, "Oh, you're too nice."
It's interesting.
It requires mastering a skill then in throwing the discus.
Yes, I believe so.
So, Adrienne, you have spoken about the coaches and the nurse, but I happen to know that you have your mother and your parents, but especially your mother, in the highest regards. And for very good reason, because she's your mother. But tell us a little bit about that relationship and how you view her.
I think my mom is like my biggest motivation because I've seen how hard she has worked and how much faith she has and how much praises she gives to God, just such that she can provide for us the way that she does. And I have the most respect for her, and I admire her so much because of it. And when it came on to my track and field career, I think that's where I learned to have faith, just by seeing how much she had. And like, I don't even have the words to describe. And I don't think they are words to describe how much I love and appreciate her, especially when I got to college, because being at college on your own as a student athlete, especially, was not the easiest thing, especially being away from home, how hard the training was, how hard the schoolwork was, not having the time. And she was there with me right through it. Both parents were, but I have to give her.
You know, it's interesting, you know, because I sort of arc back to when you just started speaking, and you said that, you know, like you were chubby.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, when you go to school, chubby people are not looked at as athletes.
True.
Okay. So the fact that you had, you know, you recognize, you know, and referred to it to the extent that you evolved out of that and became a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, for me, this is the type of mentorship that we need deep in our system, because the standout athletes, you know, is always there. Okay. But when you have a example,
Yeah.
okay, for the kids to say, oh, no, no, no. I mean, she was not LeBron James or, you know, or Usain Bolt, but she's a champion.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the type of example I really want to see embedded in our history. Okay. So that every member of our community understand that there is a place for them to be a champion.
There is. And one thing my mommy always says is, it's never about how you start, but it's always about how you finish.
Yes.
And that's one thing. Whenever I came to her being sad or frustrated or overwhelmed at anything, that's one thing she always says. She always says, watch the finish. Because it's never about how you start, but always about how you finish. I stayed throughout.
Can we back up a little bit here, Dale?
Sure.
I want to back up to comparing Holy Childhood and Excelsior. You weren't so successful at Holy Childhood.
Yeah.
Was it the coaching chain difference at Excelsior that caused you to become more adept at the event?
Yes, I believe so. So it wasn't a case where um I wouldn't say there was a coach that was better than the other, because I have to, every time I look back at Holy Childhood and me being at zero and to where Mr. Johnson brought me, I he's a hell of a he's a hell of a show, because I had no idea what the discus throw was. The first thing I did when I got to practice was learn how to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
And to within 2 years get to 38 meters, that was a great achievement. No, I think the difference was, because what happened with Holy Child was that they ended up letting go that coach. And when he left, he was like, I am not leaving you here. I can't leave you here. And at that moment, I didn't realize it, but I can tell that he saw more than just another chubby girl trying and
Mm-hmm.
discuss our learning to through or trying to improve our health. But I could say he definitely saw an athlete and the athlete that I could become. So he introduced me to Mr. Vassell.
Mm.
And that's how that connection was made. So when I got to Excelsior now, he kind of taught me the discus. Like, he taught me how to be a student of the sport and not just someone coming to training and learning what he's teaching me at training. I used to
Mm-hmm.
go home and watch all these professional athletes try to master the technique, because one thing about discus, it's a habitual sport. Like, the more you do it is the better you become.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that with me to college as well. I was always a student of the sport and learning how to be better, how I can be better. So I think that's what the difference was. I learned a different concept under Mr. Vassell, and that fueled everything else.
Mm. How you left your righty? Which one?
I'm a righty.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're at in 2023, you ended up making your senior team.
Yes.
So tell us the highlights of 2023 and being a senior member, going to San Salvador and going to Chile.
Well, San Salvador was actually my first run at the senior trip, because Panams was later on that year. And I think that team and that medal was so special because I had Mr. Vassell as my coach. Yes. So going into San Salvador, I remember not having the greatest season in the NCAA. And I remember feeling so defeated in going home and going to trials. But usually what I do whenever I go home to trials, I go like a month or a couple weeks earlier, just so I can go home, train, get recentered with Mr. Vassell, and then go into trials. So I remember going into trials and oh no, actually I didn't even have trials that year because the team was selected long before, because CICs was the same weekend as trials. I remember now. So we left for trials earlier. We left our CACs earlier than trials was, because the people that went to CACs didn't get to participate in trials. Yes, I remember now.
Right.
So yeah, I remember feeling so defeated after that, because I'd thrown in that year 57 earlier, and then I just couldn't, for some reason I just couldn't figure out how to get back there. And with that mark, they selected me for that team, and I went. And Mr. Vassell was just like, forget about all that happened this season. We are here now. Let's figure it out now and compete how he knows I can compete now. So we went there. We practiced a couple days, and it was so funny because as soon as I got off the plane, because I have allergies, as soon as I got off the plane, I immediately like swole up because I'm allergic to pollen, and there was a lot of tree pollen in San Salvador, and I felt so horrible going into that competition. But we went to executed, and I finished with a bronze medal.
You know, Miss Adrienne, you know, just Pauline, you know, please don't come to Georgia in the spring. Okay, because
Oh,
the cars are painted yellow. Okay, yes. And the street is also yellow. When the rain falls, you see yellow paint running down the street, and it's all pollen, all right?
oh wow, yes.
Okay. But a question I like, which is very important to me, that I want to be embedded in this conversation. What is your mother's name?
Barbara Spicer Adams.
Barbara Spicer Adams.
And it's spicy because of how she cooks.
She's a really good cook.
You know, and it's funny. I have an older sister. If I'm coming to her home for dinner, I have to let her know. Because you remember them little peppers in Jamaica they call bird pepper?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
All right. We used to have a couple of them in our backyard. And when she sit down for dinner, she not only cook with them,
She cut
but
them up.
every fork full she put in her mouth, she bites one.
Oh no.
I don't like pepper. I don't like pepper. You can leave pepper out of my food. I tell you what, she was something else with that pepper. And she still eats a lot of pepper.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Some like it hot.
Yeah.
Yes. So the experience at the Pan Am Games, not as successful, but I'm sure you learned something from it.
So funny enough, going into Pan Am's, I had an injury flared up like 6 weeks prior. So I have this back injury, and whenever it flares up, it's to the point where I can't walk. I'd have to be in crutches. So it flared up, and I was not practicing at all going into Pan Am's. And I remember they reached out, and I was like, well, it's an opportunity, so I can go and see what I do. So I went, and a lot of people were like, why are you even going? So I was like, at that moment, I didn't even know why I was going. So I was like, I don't know. I think at the time, looking back now, I just want to test how powerful God really is. How powerful God really is. So I went and I practiced, and actually the back it wall up really good when I went. And I remember just going into the ring, and I was like, well, I have nothing to lose. And I just competed as best as I could, and I think I finished 8th. I made the finals, and I finished 8th.
Yes. Yeah. And at what point and why did you transfer from UCF?
So I transferred from UCF at the end because I was graduating in December of 2023. And I went in the portal around September, I believe. And I transferred because I had the opportunity to do my master's. And honestly, I felt like there was just more for me to give. And I remember leaving Holy Child, and that's what I compared it to. Leaving Holy Child and going to Excelsior and seeing how much better I got. I was like, there's no harm in leaving again. So I decided to enter the portal. And it was easily one of the best decisions I could have made going to that school.
And that school, Auburn, and
Auburn University.
Yeah, we at Jamaica, we have, Karen Stewart as one of the shining lights that attended Auburn, among others. And going there, you had great success in the weight throw.
Yeah, the weight throw.
Right, and also in the discus, and this was in the SECs. And I know you have first team All American.
Yes.
Yes, so just tell us, big up yourself now, and tell us a little bit about getting all those accolades.
So the weight throw is similar to the hammer throw, but it's an indoors event, so it's a lot heavier and shorter than the hammer. So funny enough, I didn't even go to Auburn to throw the weight, but they needed throwers. And prior years, I wasn't the greatest. I think the furthest I've thrown in the weight meter, it was in the weight was like 17 meters. Best effort. And I remember the coach at Auburn, his name is Coach Patrick Ebo. And I remember signing there and going there, and he looked at me and he was like, I am going to make you a weight thrower. So I was like, okay. So I went and I trained, and I think the first year that I threw the weight, and in that time too, I have to point out that I had not thrown the weight in almost 2 years, because I decided that I was not going to do it at UCF, because I believed it's very heavy, and I felt like it affected my back that year, that year. So I couldn't throw as well as I wanted to. So I told them at UCF, we're not doing this event anymore. I'm going to put it down. I remember going to Auburn, telling him the same story. He was like, I'm going to make you a weight thrower. And I have to give him all the props, because he's an amazing coach, and he knows how to build an athlete from zero to nothing. And he really took me from zero to nothing, because within that first year, I improved with 2 years off from 17 meters to 19 meters. And then the following year from 19 meters to 21 meters. And in turn, medaling, getting bronze in the indoor event.
And go ahead, John.
If I may, since you touch on the indoor event, Adrienne, how did you find throwing indoors as opposed to outdoors?
It was a little weird, because for some reason I could not fathom throwing indoors, and I don't know why. Because the space was so short, but I guess that's why they made the implements as heavy as they did. But it is a strange feeling, because everything is so one secluded. The individuals watching are right there. It's a lot different than throwing outdoor, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the event, but I can't really pinpoint what the exact difference is.
Right.
So now you go to the SCC's outdoor, and you're back to your pet event, the discus, and tell us about the SCCs and then the NCAAs, and don't forget that thing that spins. They call it a record, but you have a record of a different kind.
Oh yes.
So tell us about it.
So outdoors, I remember struggling when it came on to outdoors, and I don't know if I got so strong to the point where I could throw the weight 21 meters, where when I dropped down the weight, because the female discus is a lot lighter than the ball that we threw to throw the weight. And yes, it's a different technique, but the weight still matters. So it was a 20-pound ball throwing indoor, and now I'm trickling down to a 2.2-pound plate. So I couldn't figure out how to transfer that strength into that discus in the earlier weeks of the outdoor season. So when I got to outdoors, I think I opened my season with 51 meters. And I was like, oh my God, I left UCF throwing 57 meters. Now I'm throwing 51 meters. What am I going to do? And I'm a person, I have a few friends that every time something, I could but my toe, I always message them. So I remember messaging one of my guy friends. His friend is Travis Robinson. His name is Travis Robinson. I have to big him up. And I remember talking to him about the throw because I got 6 throws in totals, but the only throw that I registered was that one throw, the 51 meters. And he's an artist as well. So he like wrote a song saying how he's not worried about what I'm saying now because I am going to throw 60 meters this season. So fast forward to outdoor SECs, I got my groove because even then I remember feeling after that 51 meter throw, I remember feeling discouraged once again. And I decided that I don't want to throw anymore. And after SECs, this is just me like being a girl and crashing out. So I was like, I don't want to compete at SECs. I don't want to throw anymore. I just didn't want to do anything because I didn't open the way that I wanted to open, just being stubborn. And fast forward to SECs, I figured it out. I threw the 57 meters and got second. I was like, okay, maybe I can throw. I was like, okay, maybe I can throw. And that 57 meters fueled everything. Like going into regionals, I was like, this is my last year in the NCAA and I want to make it my best year. I want to go out with a bang. And I remember being so nervous. And my coach was like, well, what are you worried about? And I went in the ring and I was like, what am I worried about? Because I know God has me. I know my training. I know I can throw far. So what am I worried about? So I went, punched my ticket to the NCAAs. And I don't know, I was so happy because I had everybody there with me. I had one of my best friends that we went from Excelsior High to UCF to then now at regionals. She was there at regionals with me. Mr. Vassell's wife and his daughter was there with me. And a bunch of friends from Jamaica and competing in champs and track and field was there with me. So it felt so special that all of them could be there when I punched my ticket. So we got to NCAAs and I had not thrown like the school record at the time or anything. I just moved up on the top 10 list. And I remembered, I was like, I can't leave. This is my last chance to get the school record. I can't leave and not have the record because I had it at UCF as well. I forgot to mention that earlier. I had it at UCF as well. And for some reason, I just wanted two. So fast forward to NCAAs, we got there. None of my teammates prior, like the days before, they didn't finish the way that they wanted to. So I took it up on myself to be like, oh, well, I'm going to do it for all of us. So I went out there and I believe something shifted in that competition because I had never competed, scream, all these things the way I did at the NCAAs, but ended up throwing 60 meters, which is a great achievement as I discussed through, and also got the school record for Auburn. It was 57 meters prior, and then I bumped it up to 60 meters. And also became a first team All-American. So first team All-American is being top 8 in the entire NCAA in the nation.
Yes. And while you're doing all of this, and you mentioned something about time and managing your time before.
Yes.
So obviously you learned a very valuable lesson about time management.
Yes.
From the playing field to the classroom. And so tell us about the bachelor in your life, that degree that you have.
So my bachelor's degree was in kinesiology, focusing on exercise science. And it wasn't easy because, it's the sciences. So you have a lot of studying to do. So study hall and tutors were my best friend. And I have to commend all the schools in the NCAA actually because they all have a system where athletes, they have to go to study hall. And they have to meet a certain requirement in study hall hours per week. So you had to go to those and clock your hours. So that helped me a lot when it came down to time management. Fast forward to my last year, I remember setting up myself so well that the last year of my degree, I only had 3 classes in person, 1 online. And those 3 classes, we only met like 5 times for the entire semester. Because you know you're a senior, you don't really have that much to do but complete your, like if you have an internship, you do that internship. If you have a capstone, you do that capstone project. And that was it for the year. And then all that I've gained in my bachelor's, fast forward over to my master's, because that required a lot more than what undergrad did. For master's, it was a lot of projects, a lot of group work, and I know everybody hates group work, a lot of group work. And I really want to shout out my professors and my classmates because, you know, during that time, you're always traveling to meet, to compete. You're always missing classes. You have to switch up your presentation dates and all of that. And they were all respectable about how, like, that the fact that I was an athlete and I was going to miss up, and they worked with me. So I have to shout out to them as well.
And your master's in what?
It was kinesiology, but I focused on biomechanics.
Okay, so here we have again another great example of the quintessential student athlete. And it makes me feel so good, and I'm sure with John and Trevor also, that you are fitting that bill and you have fit that bill, and now you're an example for other youngsters to follow. And, you know, people say Jamaica don't focus on the throws, you know, not so much the field, but on the throws.
Yeah.
And we have had outstanding throwers, but we are the ones who don't put that spotlight on them.
I agree.
And we're not, we as in this triangle here, John, Trevor, and myself, we are not going to be guilty of that because
Yeah.
we have the spotlight shown directly on you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys for doing that as well.
And I know the professor, you remember SosoBone, has something to say. So, Professor, please take the mic, sir.
Well, let me say that you might be the first discuss draw or amateur that is being featured in our diaspora.
Hey.
Okay, and that just sort of shows how far behind the 8 ball we were. Okay, we treat our athletes sometimes from a band-aid position. Okay. We look at things like bobsled team, and it pops up and it's a big ball of light. And then afterward, it just simmers down. Then you have reggae boys, World Cup, and they pop up as a glimmer of light. Then along, of course, came Usain Bolt, athletics, Chilean athletics. And in the process of doing that, everything else is pushed to the side. Okay? And I've always been concerned about that. I say that so many of our athletes will go to an event, but only the ones who get gold, silver, and bronze are recognized when they come back home.
Yeah.
Okay? John and I, we talk about that consistently. That even though we say we have a team, team is not appreciated. Okay, and this is a place where we might be able to educate, our people, and especially our government, Okay, so they have they have an appreciation, okay, that when you do recognize one person, that person represents the community. Okay, so I really am happy to have you on our platform as a shining example for our young people. And I'm looking forward to you not being a stranger.
Thank you. I look forward as well.
Quickly, just one quick note. In 2024, when you finished second at our championships in Jamaica, of course, you didn't make it to the Olympics, but I'm sure you have 2028 in sights now.
Yes. So I actually took a break from throwing because I started working after graduating and finishing, ending up my NCAA eligibility. And I haven't told anybody else, so you guys are the first to know. So I am going to start my pro career now, and I'm starting in January, and I'll be training at the Auburn University, not with Coach Patrick Ebo, but with another coach. His name is Joe Riccio.
Oh, could you repeat the name, please?
Joe Riccio.
Riccio. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
But the
Over to you,
question then,
John.
the question then, Adrienne, the is 70 meters in the arm for Adrienne.
Of course. It definitely is. Because
Because
I remember when it was once 40 meters and I got that. Once 50 meters and I had it. 60 meters and I accomplished it this year. So I know 70 is in the reach.
because that's where really the world standard now for
Yeah.
women.
Yes. I agree.
Of all the meets that you have participated in, which did you enjoy most?
I have to say NCAA. I'd have to say the NCAA. Because one, yes, I finally hit 60 meters, but I feel like all the 6 years that I've been in the NCAA, everything that I have envisioned for myself came to life at that meet.
And just backing up, you say you have your master's now in biomechanics.
Yes.
Explain to our viewers and our listeners what biomechanics is.
So biomechanics is basically me studying the body's movement, the mechanics. So what muscles causes my hand to turn this way versus this way. Same thing with the knee joint, all that. So it's just basically the study of the body's movement. So if you know what a physical therapist is, it's just a more in-depth version of what they studied. Because they do also study the body, but I more focus on how the body moves and what muscles cause it to move, what nerves and ligaments and all that stuff intervene in certain movements.
And I'll ask you this too, Adrienne. Did drug testing limit how you ate, how you prepared for meats?
No, because we all had access to what substances were banned. So we'd always make sure we'd know what we've had to eat, everything that we've consumed from food to vitamins to medication and have them written down. So if it's a case where we did get screened for something, we'd have the information of all that we've ingested pretty much. So no, it didn't affect how I eat it. Well, Hawaii.
What's your favorite meal?
Stew peas. For sure, I love stew peas. And ackee and saltfish. Stew peas and
Oh
ackee and
boy.
saltfish.
Hey,
And
okay.
the stew peas have to have pigtail.
No, no.
No, really.
Deal?
Okay, so it's a wrap. Again, thank you very much, Adrienne, for appearing with us, coming on with us, and participating, having the conversation with us. And I'll give you the very last words. We have a minute, and for you to send out season's greetings to whomever you wish to.
So, okay, I have so many people. So I want to say Merry Christmas to my family, mommy, daddy, sister, brothers, cousin, auntie, uncle, everybody can call the names because we don't have all that time. All my friends, and I have a few names that I want to call. So Travis Robinson, of course. Brianna Fairweather, of course. Kalia Jones, Nicole Whitaker, Cameron Massey. There's so many names. Kai Chang, a lot of names. But all my friends, all my families, love you know, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Okay,
And
Professor.
On that note, we have to say thank you, Adrienne. And we'll be looking for you in the pro ranks in the next few years. Well, 28 Los Angeles Olympics coming up.
You guys will
Thank
see
you
me there.
Yes, thank you so much. And may God be with you.
Thank you. And with you guys as well.